Are the Minnesota Vikings in trouble? Yeah, they're a 4-0 team, but they nearly allowed the Green Bay Packers to come back from a 28-point deficit and only got a 2-point win. There are a lot of different factors to talk about. Sam Darnold's turnovers and the defense allowing Jordan Love to throw for nearly 400 yards. Is it a problem? Let's talk about it. The Minnesota Vikings went into Lambeau Field with a mission: get a win and get Aaron Jones a Lambeau leap. They accomplished the first one, and they really tried hard to accomplish the second, and there were elements of that nearly cost them the game on Sunday, but they did pull out a 31-29 victory, the fourth consecutive victory to start the season for the Vikings, and for all you bettors out there, the first Vikings game that hit the over, as the first three all hit the under. Now, when you look at the Minnesota Vikings in this game, they got out to that 28-0 lead. They capitalized on Jordan Love interceptions. They were pressuring him consistently, and the Vikings offense was firing on all cylinders. Sam Darnold throwing 3 touchdown passes and a jet sweep run by Jordan Addison to get them that 28-point lead. But it was the mistakes that nearly cost the Minnesota Vikings the game, and it is a problem considering what mistakes they're making and how it feels like bozo moments. 3rd and 1 at the end of the first half, instead of running the ball just to get the first down, throws the ball. Brandon Powell gets a relatively big hit, comes off the field injured, is not able to 3 plays later come back and field the punt. Jalen Naylor looks up into the sun, muffs it. Bo Melton recovers it inside the 5. A couple plays later, the Packers score a touchdown, and that helped spurn the Packers to 22 consecutive points. Now, there are some other factors here. The Vikings couldn't generate a pass rush in the second half. The Packers were generating tempo, and they were not allowing the Vikings to make those quick substitutions that they like to keep fresh legs on the field. And they were able to take advantage of that zone coverage that the Vikings were playing on the back end because this defense is pressure dependent. If you get pressure, the zone is completely fine. If you don't, they can get picked apart, and the Vikings did. They got picked apart for nearly 400 yards from Jordan Love, even though Christian Watson was hurt with an ankle injury, went out in the first half on that Camus Grugier-Hill interception and did not return. Those factors all matter. Plus, you had 2 Sam Darnold turnovers in the second half. That odd interception, we're going to call it, because let's be real, Xavier McKinney did not catch that ball in bounds, but he was still given the interception even after the automatic review was triggered. And then that strip sack that the Packers turned into a touchdown extremely quickly as it happened inside the 30-yard line. Those factors ended up mattering big time because that interception didn't just take place. It took place at the goal line. So the Vikings were about to go up 35-7. And you can't make those kind of mistakes. You have to be able to put the nail in the coffin. You have to play smart football. Sam Darnold should know that corner blitz is coming, and he should feel the creeper and not allow that kind of strip sack. Now, I will give Darnold some credit. There was not another bozo moment like there was in the previous games where he's about to get sacked and he pitches it forward or tries to pitch it backwards to Aaron Jones. When there was a miscommunication on a handoff, he just ate it, went down, lived to fight another day. Positive step forward there. But the concerns that mount for the Minnesota Vikings are very real. You have Darnold still turning the ball over. Kevin O'Connell's interesting play calling. I think the All-22 will really answer some of those questions. And the defense not being able to generate pressure. They were getting easy pressure the first 3 weeks. Is this a situation where the Packers were just able to figure out how the Vikings want to attack and get pressure? Or was the offensive line just good enough and they were able to stop them? I don't think we quite have an answer yet. And that's not something that fans are going to want to hear. But it's something that's just reality. We're going to be able to find out more as we get more information. And that's when you have something that's relatively new like this style of defense, the evolution of this is new. It's going to take time for defensive coordinators to kind of sift through all the information and be able to figure out how can we make an impact? How can we stop this? Right now, the Packers did just by being able to block it. Even with the hobbled Jordan Love, which as the game went on, you could tell the adrenaline was flowing and he was moving a lot more crisp and clean on the back end. But these mistakes are ones that the Vikings cannot make. They're not going to force 4 turnovers a game. Now, kudos to them. They were able to make it work considering all the different factors going on. But if you continue to make those bozo moments, those bozo plays, muff a punt up 28-0, not be able to get pressure, Darnold making a mistake throwing the football, and he should have been picked off on his first throw of the game when McDuffie was nearly had an interception. Those are worrisome moments for the Vikings, and they're going to really work on trying to fix those, and they're going to have time. It's only 4 games in. This is not a perfect football team, but they do have a perfect record, so they're going to be able to get away with some of those things more than other teams. So stay patient. The Vikings will fix some of these things, and they do have a bye week after next week when they go to London and face Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Just enjoy the fact that this team is 4-0, and also enjoy the fact that they got their wake-up call in a win and not a loss. That's not something that happens very often. I'm Tyler Forness, Skull Vikings.